Hello and welcome back to MathT UK. Today I'm going to be showing you a short video regarding the Zippo hand warmer. This is an item that I've been using over the last couple of weekends, the one just gone too, and I'm going to show you its advantages, its disadvantages, and why I like it so much. Welcome. Look, a quick note here. I would never buy something like this cheap. I wouldn't buy Snide, the genuine article only for me. It's too important. This is in your pocket and possibly in your sleeping bag. Do you really want a cheap Snide copy in your pocket or sleeping bag? I don't. Bear that in mind when you go to buy one. Okay. So, what do you get for your money? Well, you get your main fuel compartment. You get your head, or the bit that you light. I genuinely don't know what this bit is called. I genuinely don't, so I do apologise about that. But what I do know is that this material here is made out of the same material of the catalytic converter within cars. So that's all I know. So I do apologise about that. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to do. This head is, or the lid here. This is your lid, perforated to allow oxygen in. Your little bag and your filler, and if you look on the sides of the filler you will see half full, and there's a mark here that shows full, and a swan neck filler, and I'll show you how to use that after. The Zippo, the fuel that I use, yes, it is going to be Zippo. Of course I'm going to use Zippo fuel. You can use other Swan lighter fuels, other, similar makes, similar names. It's entirely up to you, but Zippo, that's the way I'm going to go, I'm afraid. So this is how it comes in the box. A point to note about this is it will not stand up on its own. Whichever way you put it, it's going to fall over. Just remember that when it comes to filling it. Once you pick it up and once you start, you have to finish. Remove the lid. Remove the burner. And you are left with that. Now that looks exactly like a Zippo container, because it is just a container full of cotton wool. That's all it is. Nothing technical in there. That's why these things are so good, because of the lack of technology within the main item. So then, what do? Well, we have to fill it. I'm going to use my Zippo lighter. And I'm going to put a 12-hour burn in. So that's up to the first mark. All I'm going to do now is to use, I want you to see this actually, it's because it's quite important. As soon as it touches the cotton wool, tip it up and it will start draining into the cotton wool. And there it goes. All you do now is light it. All you do now is light it. I can assure you this can be a pig to light sometimes. It takes a lot of patience and to get it right. So if at first you don't succeed, keep going. It will light. If you overfill it, if you think you can squeeze a bit more fuel in because it looks like it's not full yet, it will set fire. The fuel will start to boil and it will go all over your hands and set fire to you and your equipment. I'll show you an example of that later. So how does this actually work? And when you light this, it draws the fumes up from the cotton. So the actual fuel doesn't actually ignite, it's the fumes that are constantly burning. And that's why it burns for so long, because it's not actually burning the fuel, it's burning the fumes. And that's how it works. Now I'm going to try and light this. Now if you can use any lighter, I prefer to use something like this. All I'm going to do is keep lighting it. Keep the flame on it. Now if you overfill it, at this stage now, the fuel will start to boil from below and start seeping out of the head and catch fire. Like I say, they are difficult to light. If you're out of the wind, I light it outdoors most of the time. You know when you're getting there, because it starts to warm up in your hand. No, I actually think that's lit. As you can see, there are no flames. When you start to feel the case warm up, that's when you know that this thing is working properly. So as soon as this case starts to get warm, place on your lid, and pretty much that's it. And it will get warmer and warmer. Now, the little bag it comes with also helps it function better. So what you need to do, if you leave it out of the bag, it will get hotter and hotter and hotter and become pretty much not unbearable to touch, but a little bit too hot for comfort's sake. So you get the bag, you drop it into the bag, and that's getting nice and warm now. And you close up the bag, and that's how it lives. So that can stay now in your pocket, anywhere you want really, and that will get up nice and warm. I can feel it now warming up. It's absolutely lovely. What I personally do with it, I'll show you. Get one of these. I hook it on the lower section, down below the bead. If you hook it above the bead, it's a little bit too long. So if I hook it below the bead and do that up, I can put that around my neck, shove it down there. That keeps me nice and warm down there. My coat, my pocket, my hand warming pockets with my hand warmer. I can feel the warmth on that now. It's tremendous. So what happens then if you overfill this item? Well, because it gets so hot inside the chamber and there's so much fuel in there, the heat expands the fuel and the fuel starts to come out and seep out over the top. It then dribbles down the side and dribbles onto your hand, and then it ignites and you burst into flames. And that's exactly what happens when you overfill it.
Well, you're shooting in the fields, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's that time of year, isn't it?
Shoot you over.
So there you go, one pocket warmer, pretty easy to use, bit of a swine to light, yes, but saying that, it is a very, very good piece of kit. You will get 24 hours guarantee on the correct fill, I guarantee you will. And but if you get short and it's time to put it out, how do you put it out? You can't blow it out. You put it out by simply taking the lid off, taking the little cat head off, and that's it, job done, goes out. Like this. Warning though, it's going to be hot. You can't see a flame, but I can assure you that is burning. There you go. It's out. So you can as soon as it's cold enough to pick it up, put it back on, make sure it's nice and tight, put that back on, back into the bag, and we're done. Where do I use it? Well, I use it on all my outdoor sports, obviously, but I also use it in my sleeping bag. It's brilliant for throwing in the bottom of your sleeping bag and then cuddling it with your feet. It keeps your feet absolutely toasty. And you know sometimes the best, if your feet are cold, you're cold. So I throw that at the bottom of the sleeping bag, down to my feet, kick my feet onto it, cuddle it with my toes, and my feet stay toasty and warm all night. But I'm going to say this: do not put your head under or in the sleeping bag, because obviously it's burning oxygen. The last thing you want to do is get your head inside the same item as this, because that's not a good idea for obvious reasons. It could kill you. So don't do that. If you're going to have it, if you're going to put it in your sleeping bag, which I have done many times for many years, I have never ever had an issue as long as I keep my head out of it. Okay? That's my advice. That's why I also say get a Zippo. Don't get a Snide. Don't get a Chinese copy or anything like that. It's just not worth the risk. You must make sure you've got good quality gear to do it with. Personally, I never half fill it. I always put a full measure in, always 24 hours. I never go anywhere less than 24 hours anyway. But it is a very good companion. You'll be pleased you got one. I have nothing to do with Zippo. I'm just telling you it's a really good piece of kit. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Just one other thing before I go. There are other hand warmers I've tried. Ones like this. And I've also tried this one. I wouldn't even dream of having these. But hey, this works for me. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.